And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. It's Lakers weekend and the Lakerholics Spotlight, everyone. It's Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for joining us right here on the Lakers Fast Break. Truly cannot thank you enough. But please support the guys today at Lakerholics.com. Your place to go for the best in opinion making and news and updates, Laker trades, and more right there for you at Lakerholics.com. The Lakers are riding high on a 7-2 start to the season as they head into Hotlanta later today to start a 5-game road trip against the Atlanta Hawks. The guys are here. Looking forward to having a great conversation. I did want to mention that Jamie Sweet and Michael Heinrich, those guys have been a great part of the Lakerholics cause, but they're having a birthday today. So they said, you know what? As a great birthday present, they would rather not be here. All right. Fine. Let's see how it is. Okay. We will give that birthday present to you by saying happy birthday to you guys. All right.
Happy birthday
to you. There you go. Absolutely. The thing is, though, those guys have known each other for how many years and didn't know their birthdays are like right next to each other? That's crazy. Again, okay. All right. But be that as it may, the guys are here. It is, of course, the legends indeed, L. Rob and Laker Tom. L. Rob, great to have you here. I will start with you, my friend. 7-2. Exceeding many people's, including my own, expectations so far early in the season. I don't want to start anointing a crown just yet because, again, there's some in our chat. I do the post games. I talk to many people over the course of the week, and some are already like riding high on it. I'm like, okay, great start. Love the momentum. Hopefully getting people back into the lineup in the not too distant future. We're not sure about the Austin Reeves growing thing. He's listed currently as out, but they're still deciding on that. It could be a possibility and the slight chance he could return. Yeah, it depends on who you talk to. Twitter said he is listed as out, but again, the latest thing, again, JJ said they're going to reevaluate and see, but I don't think he'll be in. But be that as it may, Rob, the Lakers, all good sign, despite all the injuries, despite all the lineup changes, despite everything that's gone on. The Lakers are 7-2 as they head out on this 5-game road trip. Rob, how's it been to you, my friend?
Well, I'm like you, but as a wise coach once said, if you want to crown them, then go ahead and crown them. Channeling my Denny Green there. But been enjoyable to watch. So, I mean, it's a marathon, though. It's good it's taking shape, though. And 9 games, that's roughly a tenth of the season. That is a small sample size, but it's large enough that you can see a formation building. You can see a belief, trust. You can see all those things come into shape. So, it's exciting. It's a good time. Good time to be a Lakers fan.
Yes, indeed. It is. And I'm very happy for the success of the Lakers. It's always great to get it off to a good start. But as I was talking to my good friend Legend this week, because he is a supporter of the Golden State Warriors, they got off to a torrid start at near the top of the Western Conference, just like the Lakers are now. They got one key injury and it fell off shortly thereafter until they got Jimmy Butler in, and then they righted the ship. I'm hoping that same pathway does not happen for the Lakers, and that they can stay where they're at in the Western Conference or even higher, maybe. But we'll have to see. But here today to share his opinion on the great start of the Lakers, good man indeed, one of the most prolific writers on the Los Angeles Lakers is here. The guy who heads up Lakerholics.com and the antithesis of the birthday boy Jamie Sweet himself. It is Laker Tom. Laker Tom, great to have you here. Looking forward to a good conversation with you and L. Rob. Your thoughts on the start so far for the Los Angeles Lakers?
Crown the guys right now, man. Why wait?
I knew you would say that. I knew it.
No, seriously, look at. We won 5 straight. We have the second best record in the entire NBA. We should be 4-5 because we won 3 games that there's no way they should have been written off as losses from the schedule and injuries right from the beginning. But instead, we flipped these 3 games, and we've had 9 games that LeBron's missed, 4 games that Luke has missed, and today will probably be the 3rd game that Austin has missed. And yet we haven't missed a beat. That puts a lot of pressure on the team to do one thing, which is now that they get a couple of easy games on the schedule, they better win those games. You know, you can't go and blow a game to the Hawks or the Hornets after the first 9 games that you've had in the season. I'm thrilled with how the Lakers are doing. I think it's just been a fabulous start to the season. The games all across the league have been really startlingly exciting. There have been so many high scores and so many great plays. I'm not liking the free throws, man. I mean, the copycat league, everybody is trying to emulate Oklahoma City and speeding it up and so forth. And you even got holding Ja Morant down to 29 minutes a game because they want players to play harder and tougher and, you know, in shorter stints so that they can, you know, survive. And everybody wants to copy what the Thunder have done. So it'll be interesting to see what the league does as far as that, because, I mean, 84 free throws really slows the game down. And these people on the East Coast, they're watching those games those games are ending at 1:30 in the morning. Yeah, Lee, you would understand that, being in Detroit, man.
Yeah, that was terrible. I mean, that was
go to work in the morning, man.
Yeah, right. I mean, I usually get up by 6:30. So
anyway, it's been a terrific start to the season, you know, and just fabulous. I couldn't be happier. I want them to continue to push like they're pushing. I hope that this encourages Rob Pelinka to make a trade. Although his number of trading chips that we really want to move at this point maybe down to, I don't think we can afford Andrew Wiggins at this point, because I don't want to trade Rui. I want Rui to be on the bench. I want him coming off the bench, and I'm willing to give him a raise. But man, the guy's he's too deadly from 2-point range now to mess around. I want to go after Brooks and maybe the backup center from the Pistons, you know, and we could do those guys with a combination of Kleber's salary, Gabe's salary, and Connect's salary. And that would also open up enough money for us to fill in a couple of roster spots with.
You talking Reed or Stu?
Pardon?
You said backup center for the Pistons. You talking about Reed or
well, Duran's a starter, right? Duran's a starter, and he's
they put in Stewart and Duran.
Stewart, I think, is the guy who's reaching.
Are you talking Stewart? Oh, okay.
Yes.
I mean, he's fourth. He's averaging 2 blocks a game. He's excellent. He's really sort of we need one of two things. We either need a stretch center for the offense, even though we're the number 5 offense. We really need that 3-point shooting and spacing that we get from that, or we need a shot blocker who can come in and, you know, and protect the rim when the second team is on the floor. But I don't want to give up Rui at this point in time. And the team is just lined up so good that if we could pull off a trade, you know, getting Dylan Brooks and Isaiah Stewart, oh man, that would be a sweet 10-man rotation to go into the regular season and the playoffs. And, you know, and we could probably add a couple of minimum salary guys at the end that could help us out in case of injuries. I mean, this whole league has come down to injuries. This is the NB injury league. You know, I can't believe the number of players that are out. Every team has got like 5 or 6 players that are, you know, not available for the game, either through injuries, being careful with them already, even though we're in the 9th game of the season. There's this load management stuff going on all over the place, you know, and the league seems to be allowing it. You know, I see in the reports, rest. I mean, that's an excuse now for not showing up to play for these millions of fans that are watching and the people that paid for all of these seats. You need to rest. Players play fewer minutes and fewer games now than they ever did in their life, and they
get paid a lot more.
They get paid a lot more, and they have the best medical, the best training, the best recovery and physical therapy people to do all of the various things to keep them in the best shape, and yet they still do it. I mean, and it's just like John Moran. I'm not going to play under 30 minutes. 30 minutes. I have my people I'm competing with. They're playing 40 minutes or 36 minutes. It's not fair. And yet, he's not going to go in there reading the 29 minutes of 19 minutes he played, 29 minutes he plays and plays hard. It's we're 9 games in, and already. I've seen the bubble burst on everybody but the Lakers. Isn't that the same as you guys have seen? I mean, all of those teams, when Wemby was going to dominate the league totally, well, a couple of games of defense and fronting the guy, and all of a sudden, you're really in a tough situation. Yeah, I was glad to see him come back after the 2 times getting shut down. He had a pretty good game.
They're winning though, so
they won. That's a good deal. The Hawks game tonight. What do you think?
Well, we'll see again.
Jamie's not here, Gerald, so you're going to have to be Mr. Negative.
Well, no, I've already said on the 5 games trip, I said they would go 3-2. Remember, there's also a back-to-back in Indiana and Milwaukee, and then every time I say that the Lakers,
we're going to lose to the Bucks and the Thunder.
Well, because they'll do the opposite of what normal conventional thinking. Because they did this last year when they were going to Milwaukee. They played their stars the game before against I think it was a lesser team at that
Milwaukee's
time.
The second night of back-to-back.
So, yes, Milwaukee's the second night of back-to-back, and they sat them down against
Can't they
Milwaukee.
figure out a schedule that doesn't have back-to-backs? I mean, for God's sakes.
Yeah, that's another issue because it'll be the 3rd back-to-back for the Lakers already. But Rob, let me hear you before we get knee deep into the Lakers. I wanted to ask your thoughts on what Tom was going off on, because it's something that we've discussed on during the week on our shows. Is the fact that the load management part of it, like Tom said, the training is more advanced, the health, the recovery, everything as far as should be in favor of these players being more on the court, but yet we are seeing them a lot less. Rob,
it's baffling. I don't know. I think it's the mindset. No one broke the 4-minute mile for years and years and years and years. You said you couldn't do it, and then it was done, and then everybody stopped breaking it. So it's almost like that in reverse. You can't play these guys X amount of time, and then you cut it down to you're taking a game off every once in a while, and then you're taking off more games, and now you're down to, okay, if you can play 65, you played a good season. It's mind-boggling to watch. To not digress a little bit, but watch Scuba on the Tigers when he's pitching the deciding game, and he throws 6 innings of shutout ball or whatever, 1-run ball, and people want to throw a parade for him. It's like, no, that's not how you get to the next level. You got to go 9, at least 8 innings. So I don't get it. Back to back
anymore.
Back to backs. I don't want to compare. Don't tell me how great Steph and LeBron and all these guys are. Kareem was playing back to back to back, putting up numbers and not taking a day off. So, yeah, I don't get it. Don't understand the science. These guys have better everything, first class flight, their own planes, all of this wonderful stuff, yet the production is less. It's a mindset that's been passed down, and unfortunately, the train has left the station. It is not coming back. So it's going to keep going to, it's accepted now. It's norm. It's baked into the deal now.
LeBron's missed 9 games. He's not on the road trip. That's 5 more. That's 14 games. What's 82 minus 14 is 68. That means he can miss 3 more games, or he might not make all NBA.
And we know that's important to him.
And we know that's really important to him. So, man, I mean, he's going to have to play the rest of the season without getting injured.
But LeBron, you know what? I mean, I've all people
play him off the ball. I'd play him off the ball, put him in the corner.
You give LeBron, you give him a lot of grace because he's in his 21st or however long he's been playing, 22nd. I mean, he deserves it. He's pretty much played most of the games his whole career. He hasn't had a lot of injuries, so yeah, he's not the poster child for what we're talking about.
No, but I think what's going to be fascinating to me is the idea of, and I think this is the Lakers championship blueprint on the offensive end. It's having the ball, having Luka or Austin on the court for all 48 minutes of the game with the ball. I don't want to have LeBron have the ball. LeBron could get the ball by cutting, by posting up, by rebounding, by a million different ways, by setting screens and rolling. He's going to play off the ball all the time, and he's going to love it. And a lot of it is he can rest in the corner and fire threes away.
Well,
exactly what we need.
The part about him loving the time remains to be seen, and this is going to be interesting to see how JJ's done a masterful job so far. But how will he incorporate LeBron when he comes back? Keep the chemistry up and keep everyone.
We're the second best team in the league right now without LeBron. I mean, it started last year because last year was the first year in his entire career that his on-off numbers were the other way around, where the team did better with him off the court. There's only a couple of points negative, but that was, normally it's 7, 8, 10 points positive. Off the ball is where he wants to play, I think, this year. It makes all the sense in the world. Because
so that's one thing I want to ask. Okay, because this week, Shams Charania, ESPN, of course, they got to cover it for you. So they speculate on LeBron's return, and now because he's heading back to getting back on the court, 5-on-5 duty, Rob and Tom. It's targeting probably just after the 5-game road trip.
Yeah,
I'm going to guesstimate around the 20th. Let's just say around the 20th. Let's just give or take on that.
What's the first game? What's the first game back?
Let me look it up for you guys. So with that, though, I'm going to start with Rob on this question. Rob, your thoughts on this? If you're LeBron integrating yourself back into this, and you've seen the success that Austin's had, which I was arguing with John Costa the other day on. And you guys can see it on the channel on this Lakers Corner about. Oh boy, that was a doozy right there. But your thoughts on how LeBron should integrate himself back in the lineup once he does come back, and I will get you that schedule right now.
No, I agree with Tom. I mean, he should be off the ball. He should be one of the support guys if he sees this team as a team with championship potential, which I'm sure he is looking at it and has got to have a belief that this team could make a serious run. They need help defense, rebounding. He's got to be a ball mover, screener, and really a general, just kind of on the defensive end, kind of pointing things out and making sure they're running the right stuff at the right time offensively. Use his smarts more. Get out and run. Get out on the wing and run some.
Not right now too is running.
Yeah, so I mean that's where I envision it, but he's been freed of the load of dealing with the ball. So he doesn't have to worry about ball handling. He doesn't have to worry about any of that. Now, we know LeBron feels his greatest strength is with the ball. And I'm not going to disagree with that because his vision and his passing is probably one of his strengths of his game. But he has improved his catch and shoot three. His 3-point range has really gone up in the last couple years. So it's just, does he feel that that's the best way to help the team? What the team needs and what he feels he brings to the table, are they aligned? And that's the intriguing part. That's the interesting part that we'll be watching.
From everything
let me, Tom, if I may,
right.
wanted you, because you asked a question on this. When the Lakers come back from their 5-game road trip,
right,
on the 18th, they're at home against Utah.
Oh, that's
5 days later.
That's got to be the first game, man.
Well, hold on, because 5 days later, they get 5 days off. They don't play again until the 23rd.
Oh, wow.
At Utah. So I'm thinking at Utah on the 23rd, just because it gives LeBron almost another week of recovery time. You could be right.
Then it'll be down to just 2 games that he can miss.
So,
and it's a beatable team.
I'm just putting it out there, you guys. But if he does come back the 18th, then he'll probably play on the 23rd as well, because it is a Utah deal, but it's separated by 5 days according to what the schedule says, Tom. So go ahead. You were interested.
Yeah, I was going to say that I agree with Lee that when you listen to everything that LeBron said, he worked on his 3-point shot off during the offseason because he figured he was going to be playing off of the ball a lot more. And we've all seen how effective he can be in post up. I mean, the thing about it is there's no player in the league who's a better jack of all trades player than LeBron James. And all of the things that we need, we rank 28th in rebounding. Oh man, I can't wait to get LeBron in there getting 10 rebounds a game.
We're also one of the worst shooting 3-point teams. So if you
we're
go
the
back
worst
to LeBron of 2 seasons
29th in 3-point shooting. We're like, I mean, rebounding. All of these areas are areas where each one of those is a skill that LeBron can fill in like a jack of all trades, like a master of all trades. I mean, and I think his mind is in the right sense, because what this does to a certain extent is it gives LeBron a route to continue to be effective in the league and to still play, Nobody wants, it's funny when it's hard to imagine. I mean, I've read books about players retiring, and a lot of guys really miss it, and miss it so bad that their first couple of years in retirement are terrible. They just miss the competition, the camaraderie of being on a team, the trips, and all of the things that that go into that whole lifestyle that you end up playing 10, 15 years. And a chance to be able to, nobody wants to be carried, and if you're a superstar, nobody wants to end up, playing for the Washington Wizards or something like that. Like, I don't think LeBron was ever serious about going to another team. And this has to be the perfect situation that he really has a team that legitimately is maybe not the favorite for sure, but a championship contender. That's no doubt about that. With just Luka and Austin and the rest of the guys that they put together. I mean, when you look at this, what's happened this spring and this summer and the start of the season, Connect is probably the only player who hasn't done better than expected, hasn't raised the expectations.
Mm-hmm.
That's, and when you think about it, I mean, how good is LeBron? How good has Luka been? He's come into shape and he's playing like an MVP. Austin Reeves. I eliminated him from the trade thing. I've never done that with any other Laker player.
Be still my beating heart.
Yes. I mean, I actually took him off of the trading block. He played so goddamn well that there's no way I'm going to trade the guy. I haven't done that to any player before on the Lakers. And then you go down the line, the rest of the start, DeAndre Ayton.
Is he getting enough credit? Is Ayton getting enough credit for?
God, the guy has been fabulous. Marcus Smart, washed up. Forget it, you fools that said that. I mean, my God, the guy's been. Jake LaRavia was the first guy they called, and now you see why they called him.
Well, I'll just say this. When it comes to Marcus Smart, we weren't sure what we were going to get because he had not played. He had played only 50 games the past 2 seasons.
Stick him on a team that's not in competition and have injuries. That was the only problem that he had.
Well, the Memphis team 2 seasons ago was a team that was in competition,
right?
but still,
he was that year, most of that year.
But again, you didn't know how much he had left. But it's clear that if he can stay on the floor, he can make a real impact for whatever team he plays for.
Hey, we replaced DFS with a guy 8 years younger who's going to be better, and for a fraction of the money. And we use the extra money to bring in Ayton and Smart.
Yes.
JJ Redick has done a great job. Pelinka's done a great job. Everything is just coming up Lakers, man. I'm going to throw one other thing out here that's just fabulous because I've been just beside myself with it. The other day, I got followed by Mark Walter on X.
Nice. What did you say something specifically that?
Like let that money follow the money he has follow you too. Right in your
I republish everything I put on Lakerholics on Twitter. So every word that I do on Lakerholics is on Twitter somewhere. So he obviously liked something I did. So I followed him back. He followed me. He sent me in. I've had this long conversation for 2 days with him. Wanting to know, just who am I? Where I asked him, I said, do I know? He first said, do I know you? I said, no, we've never met. But we went through a lot of conversations, and I specifically told him that I wasn't going to repeat any of the specific.
Did you give him your Venmo number by chance?
I didn't give him my Venmo number, but
okay.
It was, it was.
Did you tell him you were a Yankees fan?
Yeah. The way I told him that is I said I've been incredibly jealous of of what you've done with the Dodgers all the time, and I said, but I forgive you now that you've bought the Lakers. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and we talked about business stuff and so forth and things like that, and and it's not the type, he was really just a nice guy, talking to him online. And I will tell one funny thing. He made a little comment about, what do you think about, it was sort of like a last comment after we'd had a long conversation about some business stuff. What do you think about the direction the country's headed in, as we're trying to make a better America? And, immediately I'm sitting there and my wife is laughing. She's looking over my shoulder laughing, and she's saying,
How much time do you have?
Well, anyway, I basically told him that, he knew that my father was an immigrant. I told him about my dad coming over as 11 years old, under a false name, under a cousin's name who died. And so
did he ask for your credit card number?
Anyway, so he said, I told him, I said, I didn't like the last administration because I thought they really were not aggressive enough. And but I find a lot of the things that are happening today not the kind of things that why my father came to America. And I was surprised. He came back and he said, I'm very disturbed also by what is happening today. And so that was great. I don't tend to bother him, by trying to become online friends with him or anything like that. But I am going to take the opportunity to, when I write an article, to send a link to him. And, hopefully
nice.
I'll be back.
Nice.
But anyway, it's funny, when Lakerholics, we always have so many people who are watching, and you never really realize when you're doing and Gerald, you're the perfect example because you're doing this professionally and, and trying to make a career out of it actually, and so your family's counting on it and everything else. And it's a tough challenge, man. And sometimes you feel like, man, I'm doing all of this work and nobody recognizes it, I mean, I know how you feel, man. I feel that all the time, and why did I spend 5 hours writing that article? Or why did I do these 12 podcasts? And Why do you have all of these different venues that you're working on and so forth? But you got to remember that the numbers are huge. You know, I mean, I've had dozens of posts in Twitter that got a million views, you know, and I can't even get close to that on Lakerholics. But at times when I look at the traffic on Lakerholics, I'll see that there's like 20 people lurking in the background, you know, well, there's only like 3 people online talking. But anyway, it was nice to rewarding to know that Mark Walter liked what I was writing on X. So
there you go. By the way, breaking news: Kurt Affair says Pablo Torre finds out that you and Mark have purchased Coca-Cola together, and that you will be paid in product. I just wanted to make sure that Kurt put that.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. I told Mark, I said, and actually I included this a reference to this in an article I just wrote. I said, you know, it's a funny thing that just as they announced that you were the owner of the Lakers and officially approved it, the Lakers got red hot. I said, I told him, I said, one of your superpowers. I said, timing must be one of your superpowers, and he thought that was pretty cute. So, at any rate, he's. I also told him, I said, hey, you know, you own a lot more of the Lakers than you do the Dodgers, and he said, yeah, the Lakers are my top priority now.
Well, I'll say this: $10 billion will do that for you.
$10 billion.
Absolutely. And some of that money may have to be dished out to Austin Reeves in the summer, Rob. Austin Reeves, I know, out with a groin injury, still listed as out for today as of right now. Again, they said they will reevaluate it before the game start. But my guess is with so many Atlanta Hawks players out as well, they probably won't pull the trigger on that one. But be that as it may, Rob, Austin Reeves obviously averaging a career high, doing so well, and we talked about how integrating LeBron might work once he gets back. But Austin Reeves, I had a conversation with John Costa, I mentioned earlier this week, in regards to what happens when LeBron comes back, and his answer was to have Austin come off the bench. And I'm thinking, in this day and age,
I said that about 2 months ago too.
Yeah, well, we said it about 3 weeks ago before the season started. But unfortunately, fortunately for him, in a contract year, he has had probably about the best 3 weeks he has ever had in his life. So be that as it may, the narrative has changed. And I'm trying to tell John, the young John that he is, the young man that he is, that in this, it's not like Manu Ginobili. And please stop throwing him and Joe throw Manu Ginobili out. All that sorry, it's a different day and age.
He's better than Manu Ginobili is. That's the difference.
Well, reserves and starters get paid differently as far as a hierarchy is concerned. So it is imperative for Austin to continue to play at this level, Rob, because people, pundits and analysts are starting to talk about the max for him when we were looking at $20 to $25 million. So how does Austin Reeves' stellar play to start the season change the dynamic for the Lakers going forward?
Well, yeah, nothing will upset team chemistry like putting somebody who's, been playing great and demoting them to the bench. I don't care if he's playing the same amount of minutes, it still be viewed as a demotion. And he's in his contract year. So it's like, really, come on. No, it's just psychologically, that is not something you want to even fool around with. And no, it's not the similar comparison. Manu Ginobili was always, he was coming to a team that was a championship caliber team. And he was coming off the bench to give them something that they didn't have. And they wanted to, run a certain system. So he was comfortable with it. And he brought a lot of different things to the table. Austin is pretty much an offensive player. Manu was a two-way player. He can come in and play good defense. He could, he did a lot of different things. I don't know if I heard Tom say he's better than Manu, I would definitely not agree with that. He's had a great couple weeks, though. Let's not do that. I don't know who they bring off the bench. They'll have to figure that out. It shouldn't be Reeves, though. That much
really
convinced of, and he's been playing too great to put him on the bench, and this is his contract year, and and I don't know what that solves. What's the purpose behind it? What are you trying to accomplish by bringing him off the bench?
I think that's been eliminated entirely.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just me that took
Austin Reeves. You're talking tens
of
millions of dollars that he probably wouldn't be offered if he comes off the bench. I understand what Tuff you're saying, my friend, that it might be more effective and he have the more ball in his hands a little bit more. Yes, but
that was fine for the guy. That was fine for last year's version of Austin Reeves. This year's version of Austin Reeves is a totally different player. He's elevated his game. I mean, he's averaging 30 points a game versus 20. He's elevated his game by 50%.
It just will not work in today's NBA, especially with a guy has this one opportunity. I think people just don't realize it. I keep stressing it, L. Rob. I keep stressing it, Tom. He has one opportunity closing in on he's 28 years old. Is that correct?
You're preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the choir.
He has one opportunity to cash in for a multi-million.
About Reeves on the bench. It's
I'm trying to look at it from his perspective. He has one opportunity to cash in for a multi-year, just generational wealth type money deal in a year, L. Rob and Tom. Remember, in a summer where it's just going to be him and Trae Young.
He's not going to leave the Lakers. He's not going to leave. He'll take the biggest.
Well, you keep saying, you and others keep saying that he's not going to leave the Lakers, or he's going to get a discount, or he's on. Everybody keeps taking for granted that the Lakers are going to get a discount, or just because of the Lakers. This guy, again, this is his one opportunity to cash in, L. Rob. I mean, if you're in his situation, you have to look at all these factors. Yes, playing with Luka is a great benefit, absolutely. But the thing is, he
doesn't want to play anywhere else in LA. Why should he? What's the difference between 150 and 200 million?
$50 million.
$50 million.
Let me ask you a question. Put it this way. Let's say each of you are on the Lakers.
Big difference.
Wait a minute. Well, no, shut up. Wait a little. Listen. Each of you are on the Lakers. Each of you are on the Lakers, and they give you an offer. Let's say you're great players, and they give you an offer that is $35 million a year. Another team offers $40 million a year. You going to leave the Lakers for $5 million?
For the course of 5 years, that's $20 million.
Yeah. Would you
invest that right? That could turn into 40,
would
50,
you,
100
would
million
you? No, I understand all of the things. I'm just asking, if you were, would you do that? Would you do that?
It's easy for me to say this as a bleeding purple and gold to say, yeah, I'll stay with the Lakers, but you're faced with generational wealth, Tom.
He's going to get generational. No, Gerald, he's getting generational wealth no matter what. The Lakers will give him generational wealth.
Again, what if Washington comes in and offers them the max, because they'll have plenty of cap space? There are other teams that are going to have plenty of cap space in this summer.
Listen, Austin Reeves, first off, is not going to go play for a team like the Washington Wizards. He's not going to play for a team that is a rebuilding project and so forth. And also, he's too old for those guys. He's too old for those teams. They're not the teams who want him. The teams that want him are going to be teams like the
You say that. You say that. L. Rob, I mean, we've watched this league for decades, all of us. So I have seen things come in place that have turned out like that. I'll just say
so what's the thought process, Tom? You save money so the team can sign better players around you. Is that what you're saying? Is that the point of
I think that the Lakers will pay
a haircut?
No, I think the Lakers will pay Austin Reeves whatever they have to keep him.
Yeah,
I just don't think we should take it for granted, and people should take it for granted that
he'll get more money than we think he's going to get right now.
I think that Austin Reeves will, if he feels that it's fair, that the Lakers are treating him fairly, that's how he'll look at it. So what that number is, if it's 40 million, if his market value is 45, he feels he can get from somebody else and the Lakers are giving him 40, or if his value is 40 and they're offering him 35, yes, I think Austin would probably decide to stay. But if he didn't, I wouldn't begrudge him one bit.
Listen, every day, every game, Austin looks at the guys on the other side of the table, on the other side of the court, and is happier than hell that he's on the Lakers.
So much will be determined, though.
You don't want to be. I mean, it's a whole.
It depends on how the team plays. What do they look like going through at the end? What's the plan? LeBron. There's so many different.
You want to be variables. It's hard to go for. I mean, it's like Marcus Smart playing for the Celtics and the Lakers is one thing. Playing for the Grizzlies and what was the other team?
Washington Wizards.
The Wizards, the Grizzlies, and the Wizards is another thing, man.
Yeah.
There are some guys who would be happy to do that because all they want to do is shoot the ball. All they want to do is rack up stats and that's all they're interested in is a personal thing. Austin, I think, is different. I think he really loves LeBron. He loves the Lakers. He is a Laker, and the Lakers know that, and they have great regrets for not handling things properly with Caruso, and they're not going to screw this up. I know that for sure. Mark Walter won't screw it up.
I'm sorry. In life, I've learned you don't take things for granted.
Don't take it for granted. Though.
I'm not taking it for granted, and I don't think the Lakers will take it for granted. But also, it's not like Miles Turner, who basically was kind of disrespected by the Pacers and in discussions and so forth. And it's a whole different thing, I think, when you're talking about a player like Austin Reeves. He's really a team first player who's really bet on himself, but within I think a whole that is basically more team oriented, that he wants to be on a winner. He wants to win. And he's developed a relationship with the Lakers and so forth. I think he'd be heartbroken if he didn't get the right offer from the Lakers. And I think the Lakers would be fools if they didn't give him that offer. I mean, this guy elevated his game every year, and this jump
like Apple said in the chat, though, it's the playoffs is important. He did not play well last year in the playoffs. We have seen that he embraces the big moment. He doesn't shy away from it. So that's an endearing quality and somebody you always want on your team. But you got to perform.
Save us $5 or $10 million a year.
Yeah, if he performs in the playoffs, the sky's the limit. If he's not, then I think that's gonna reduce what's offered to him by some of those other teams.
Well, I think that's probably going to reduce. That's probably what's going to keep him from a max contract.
I'll just say this: when it comes to the playoffs, when you really look at the statistics of the players, of how he's performed offensively and how he's played defensively against other players, it's part of the reason why he was undrafted in the first place. When he applies himself in the playoffs, he goes all out on one side of the ball or the other. And you can see the way Anthony Edwards and Jamal Murray, their stats against playing him when he focused on defense. The problem is he focused so much on the defensive end that he was significantly decreased on the offensive end, and vice versa. When he focused on his offense, his defense suffered. Can he put it together to give you a more well-rounded game when it matters the most in the playoffs? We'll see. But I just don't want to take anything for granted when it comes to Austin. I don't think any Lakers fans should.
That's a valid concern. But the way that I look at that concern is I think it's more a roster construction problem that the Lakers had last year. You have people who can. We didn't have people who could defend. We didn't have Marcus Smart. We didn't have a healthy Vanderbilt. We had nobody really who could go out there and shut down players. And so naturally, and Doncic basically was a liability himself last year because he was overweight and out of condition in the playoffs. And really wasn't focusing, didn't have the energy or stamina to focus on playing as well as he is now. Right now, we realize that he's number one in steals for the Lakers, even though he's only played 5 of the 9 games, and he's second in blocks. Now he's still way down the line at about 117 points a game for his defensive rating. Okay, and we've all seen guys blow by him a couple of times, but we definitely see that he's got more stamina, and it's helping his defense and so forth. So I think that this is what I think is how you solve a problem, rather than telling Reeves that it's all on you, that you've got to turn things around, because we really didn't have the right people around him. And we ran into a team, and our coach made some decisions that weren't the best decisions to help the situation. And we were playing small ball against a big team, and small ball just really exacerbates your ability to defend, because what we really want to do, and what everybody in the league is doing there, is looking for positional size advantage. Everybody wants to be bigger and longer than their opponents. And that's the key to the defense that's going on. And that's all of this physicality that's happening is because that's what you do when you get bigger and stronger than your opponent. You push them around and you bully them. So I think that my big concern with Reeves always had been that I thought he was a great player, but because of his lack of two-way skills, I never felt that he and Luka could be a championship backcourt. And I felt that way ever since up until this year. This year,
so what's changed? Luka's playing much better defense. Is that it?
Luka's playing better defense. We've got other guys.
Other guys has improved, but Luka's playing. His defense has improved. Tremendous improvement on defense effort, and so that helps Austin too. You're right.
And so does Marcus, and so does having Vanderbilt, and all of a sudden you can make moves and switches, and I like the whole concept. Having a point guard who's 6'7", even if he's going to be a small forward on defense, okay, but having a point guard that's 6'7" and a cohort on a shooting guard that's 6'5", like Reeves is. All you need to do is build up that back court and the front court, and you all of a sudden start to have real size advantages over people. I mean, it's getting hard in this league for 6'2" guys and 6'2" guards like Gabe Vincent to really survive, man. You become a niche player at this point in time if you're not at least 6'5", 200 pounds. I'll be interested to see, 20 games. That's what Rob said. We've got 9 of them in the books. By the end of this trip, we'll have 14 in the books. The break for the 23 games, there's then a break of like 8, 9 days. So that's obviously, you want to make the trade, before that 8 or 9 day break, so that you can integrate whoever you traded for. Unless you're waiting till December 15th for a particular player, or January 15th for a particular player. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Another 10 games, we'll start to get a real trend on what teams might be buyers and what teams are probably going to be sellers. So, but if we had to go through this year, I mean, the other side of it is that the Lakers, because they're going to keep some players and they still need to make a trade to get rid of some of this expiring contracts that they've got. Because otherwise they're just let those players walk, and they have value and trade value. So we have to do that. Also, too, if we don't trade we don't have enough contracts when we go out with when we offer 3 draft picks next summer, if we wanted to get a superstar, or if we wanted to trade for a really couple impact players, we don't have the matching salaries because we don't have enough players under contract that we're willing to give up. We got all the money tied up in Luka, and if we renew LeBron next year, that'll put us back in a situation. But there's an opportunity. Remember what we did last summer, is we got 3 free agents. We signed 3 free agents for the money that DFS would have gotten. And next summer, Tari Eason is going to be a free agent. He's exactly what we need as a power forward. And there are other guys who are going to be free agents. There aren't going to be any superstars out there that are free agents, but there's probably going to be some guys who could be. We're only a couple of players away from being pretty set as a team. If we can get the right 2 good defenders, We need a small forward and we need a backup center. If we could land those two guys.
You don't think Jackson Hayes is a good backup center?
I think I would say that we could live with it without him. For example, I'd be willing to go after Kelly Olynyk in order to get a stretch center and keep Jackson in there. I think Jackson.
He looked old the other day.
Yeah, I don't know
really
about Kelly
the other day.
Yeah, I'd rather have Jackson.
But he's on a team where they don't really need him.
Tom's still that 3-point line. He wants a center that can come in and.
I do agree, though. We do need more size because the Houstons, the Oklahoma Cities, they can throw front lines at 6'11" and higher.
Kelly Olynyk is not going to combat that.
What we need, first off, power forward next year, unless something happens with LeBron, and if we win and LeBron comes back. But chances are power forward is going to be the biggest thing we need next year. Is a starting power forward. So what kind do you need? If you're going to keep DeAndre Ayton, which I would like to do, you need a 4-5 at power forward. You need a guy who can play center too. You need a guy who can stretch and a guy who can block shots. That's somebody really good. That's what you need to turn Ayton into a great asset. You need somebody to do what he doesn't do. Because he's great in that mid-range shot. He's great at dunking the ball. He's beating better on defense, but he's not an elite rim protector, and he's not a stretch five.
And he doesn't get to the line.
Yeah, and if you get a power forward, you need somebody who can do those other things. And if you can get that person, he's the perfect fit for Ayton and the perfect front court fit for the Lakers.
So let me get L-Rob back in here. Your thoughts on DeAndre Ayton? Obviously, some good returns to start the season. Had some really promising games, especially when some of the guys have been out. L-Rob, he had his revenge game against Portland earlier this week. Your thoughts on DeAndre Ayton? I mean, could this be a situation where he's playing because he likes the new scenery with the Lakers? Is he playing this well because he knows what's on the horizon as far as possibility of a getting a contract and also being able to stay in the league as an NBA starting center? Because coming into the season, the doubts were there on whether or not he would be thought of as an NBA starting center. So your thoughts on where you go right now off the early returns with DeAndre Ayton?
Yeah, it's been impressive. The game, the revenge game against Portland and San Antonio were two of his best games. So he's getting more acclimated. He's getting a few more touches. I think they need to give him a few more touches. I mean, he's not one to complain when he doesn't get it, but he's shooting.
He is our third.
You got a 60% shooter right there from that little, right inside the key. If you give it to him on pick and roll, he can stick that. So I like to see him get a few more touches. He's been everything we would want him. He's rebounded. He's set good picks. He's played enough defense. Last game, he ended up blocking a few shots. Protected the rim a little bit better. So early returns are very, very good. So it's just like everything else, though. It's early. Let's see how it pans out. But his skill level in scoring the ball and getting offensive rebounds, setting picks, all that. I mean, what he's doing is not anything outside of his norm. Maybe you look at Austin, you say, okay, Austin's probably played a little bit over his head in some of those games. We don't know about Jake or the LaRavia. That's my name for him. All the LaRavia. Is that his level, or can he, is he playing a little bit better than he really can, or is that the level? If he can stay at that level and maybe inch up a little bit more, that's all those things are unknown. DeAndre, what he's doing, I think you can kind of take that to the bank. If he gets touches, he can do what he's doing easily. So impressed, satisfied, a little bit more focus on defense, get a little bit better communications on defense and things like that. But other than that, yeah, he's been very good.
Tough. You took the words right out of my mouth because there's a little tiny voice in the back of my head, L. Rob, that says, it looks good now. But when you commit real money to him, when you commit a contract to him, will it keep looking good like this moving forward? Because we've seen this scenario before from DeAndre.
So, if he's in a winning situation with a real winning team, he has played well. When things went south on the team, then he kind of didn't fight it. He wasn't the leader, and he didn't, elevate the team. But if the team's got other guys leading it and they have a real legitimate chance to compete for something and it's a winning environment, he's played well. And this is the Lakers too, like he said. So, but we don't know. That's a crapshoot. You would hope you would hope to have a player who that would never be a question about. Unfortunately, with Aiden, it is. And no one would know that until you get to that bridge.
But any team that it's funny when you look at players and how satisfied they are, the guys on the winning teams, it always stands out when somebody on a winning team wants to get out, the Jimmy Butler pulling his stuff or something like that. DeAndre, other than his first couple of years with Chris Paul, really never was in a good winning situation, and the real test is to, I read everything that DeAndre said before the season about how he understood that this might be his last chance, and how the Lakers were a winning situation and he wanted to be part of that winning situation and he was willing to sacrifice and so forth. Here's a case where if DeAndre wants to stay with the Lakers, let's say he has a great year and is the number 3 scorer on the team, and we win a championship, and DeAndre's then going to face offers from other teams, and the Lakers are going to give him a discounted offer because DeAndre, look what you got here. Look what you're going to give up if you leave. They're not going to match it because there are other center options that they may even pursue because they want rim protection and stretch capabilities. But the thing that's impressed me most about Ayton, I think, for example, that Reeves is going to be, I love the way that he and Reeves run the pick and roll. I mean, he is a great screen setter without getting called fouls for making dumb moves and moving too soon and so forth. And Reeves is really good about not getting close to the screen so that he doesn't force the guy to try to lean to the left or lean to the right to try to, pick off the defender. But his screen setting, and I think starting to do some dribble handoff stuff up at the top of the key, as well as what I've seen is he can make passes. He can make the right pass, and he's not, he's playing the right way. The ultimate test, I think, is that he'll if he does really well and we win and we want him back, will he take a little bit less so that we can keep the championship team together? And that's a test for a guy to tell. I don't have a doubt in my mind that Austin Reeves is going to give the Lakers a discount. It's a tougher situation. I know you do. It's a tougher situation for somebody like DeAndre because
those houses in Marina Del Rey are pretty expensive, Tom. I'll just say that.
15 to 20 million, 5 million for him is, we're not talking about the contract, the type that Reeves is going to get, because there'll still be questions about DeAndre. Can you do it on another team other than the championship Lakers? I like DeAndre and I'm rooting for him. I understand that I have that same little bug in the back of my head that Lee does about, there are times when DeAndre doesn't have the right instinct. Okay. That's really what it's all about. It's that instinct to always do the right thing. There's certain players that they just do it. They know where that ball's going and so forth. And sometimes DeAndre can get lost, but he's gotten better. He's gotten better every game. And he sure is. I wish we'd had him last year against the Timberwolves. Would have made a big difference. but he's our center, and I just hope I want to strengthen up the center rotation. I want to strengthen the front court. I think that we've got our guards of the future at this point in time. We do need to replace Vincent with another guy. I wouldn't be comfortable with Bronny as our fourth guard. Frankly, I would rather even have Nick Smith be our fourth guard. Even though he's not a defender, he definitely can shoot the ball, and we need 3-point shooting. But DeAndre Ayton, he's the third best scorer on the team. We got 5 guys that are, with LeBron out, we got 5 guys that are averaging double figures. Marcus Smart, Arabia are the other 2 guys, and that's probably what our starting lineup should be right now.
Well, I think bench production is important because the Lakers were one of the worst benches last year in the league, and having guys like Smart and Arabia coming off the bench would be very beneficial to the team. I think.
Yeah, I think if we could get a starting small forward and bring Rui off the bench, bring him in as a 6th man and give him more shots. I like that idea too. I mean, I've slipped on Rui too. I mean, I'm not willing to go after Andrew Wiggins now because I don't want to give up Rui.
Logan says, I think DA is happy to play in LA with Luka. When you're winning, absolutely. Everybody seems to be happy. L Rob, just going to go ahead and start heading on to the home stretch here. Your thoughts, though, on this with the Lakers in the midst of this road trip that's coming up here with the next 5 games. I wanted to go ahead and spell it out because I wanted to make a correction. Atlanta, Charlotte, Oklahoma City, New Orleans. I think I said Indiana. So it's New Orleans, and then the next day it's a back-to-back in Milwaukee. Your thoughts on this? What do you think they have to do on this trip? What do you think they will do on this trip?
Well, conventional thinking is, of course, you win the 3 games, the Atlanta game, Charlotte, and New Orleans. Tough going to be going down to OKC playing the champs, and then catching Milwaukee on the second of the back-to-back. So the way the Lakers have been playing, I think 4-1 is doable. The one game probably being in Milwaukee.
Do you think we can beat the Thunder? You saying we're going to beat the Thunder?
No, I'm saying you got a better chance of winning on the end of the road trip on the second night than go in OKC and win that game. I know OKC is getting healthier. I've seen most of their guys are back. I know Jay Will still hasn't played. I don't think, has he?
No,
Jay Dove hasn't played. Yeah. So, but all the big guys were played the other day. So yeah, 4-1 would be good. I mean, you cannot. Atlanta's going to be tricky though. That's probably, to me, is the one you got to be ready for that very first game on the road. Atlanta.
That's Jamie's trap game.
Yep, Atlanta has some talent, so they if you're not ready to play, they can definitely beat you.
Well, we got Dyson Daniels.
You would have to play pretty bad to lose to Charlotte and or New Orleans. So you can almost 2 games is gimmies, really. If you lose to either one of those, then that's really JJ is going to go through the roof. If they lose to one of those games, I would not want to see that. So I think 4-1 is realistic. I mean Milwaukee, you scheme and figure out how to slow down Giannis just a little bit, and they don't have a ton around them. So I like the Lakers coming out 4-1. That's going to be my prediction. But I like Tom. I'm more on the optimistic side.
I'm going to say 3-2 because meeting Giannis on the second day of a back-to-back is never fun, especially because if you're not considering Luka as your MVP right now, you're probably considering Giannis as your MVP right now, or just the usual standard SGA or Jokic right now, because those guys are all playing at elite level. And then, of course, OKC, it's never fun in OKC at OKC. We'll see how that happens. But Carolina Panther, great comments by everybody from Tony to Kurt, Tough, Apple. Great comments in the chat today. Carolina Panther says, right now, Luka playing high-level MVP Smart. looking great because he can play defense. We don't need Austin. We need to trade for young defensive 2 shooting guard. Austin trade value is at an all-time high. Well, I hope it continues because as more players become available, Tom, in December, January, I know your Tomometer on your trades will go up at an all-time high level. You said Austin Reeves, based off his play, is off the Laker Tom list as of now, but Carolina does have a point, and there is the possibility that the Lakers, could have Austin Reeves, but then lose him for nothing.
Ain't gonna happen.
It's a possibility, Tom. It's you have to put these things out there.
That the earth will blow up tomorrow too.
Okay. All right.
Doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Okay.
Anything's possible.
Okay. So how do you think they'll do on the trip then?
I tend to think that when you got a back-to-back, you got a choice of if you're going to take players off, and they're not going to take them off for the Bucks. They'll take them off for the Pelicans, give somebody a rest. I mean, if they have Austin then they might give Luka a day off against the Pelicans and just let Austin go to work. But they're going to go after the Bucks. I agree with Lee, and I'll second his 4-1 prediction.
All right, there you go. All right.
By the way, if we go 4-1, that would make us 11-3.
11-3. That's correct.
And what is the percentage of 11-3? What percentage is that?
It's a very good percentage.
Well, probably about 77. I'm gonna say. What is it?
Well, 11 out of 14, right? It would be 14.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 78.5% times 82 games. That's 64 games. The Lakers already are on a pace to win 60 games, not 50, 60 games. Without LeBron James. Missing Luka Doncic for 4 of the 9 games. Austin Reeves for 2 of the 9 games.
We will see what happens.
Yeah.
I heard this morning.
What happens if Dalton Connect wakes up and start hitting some threes?
I heard this morning that
he will at some point.
The team in general
would hear this. I heard this morning that the announcers on both of the shows that were on Sirius XM now say the Lakers are the second best team in the NBA without LeBron James.
Well, see, again, it's still early in the season. Still want to go ahead and say there's still a lot of time left, but it is looking good so far. And for your information, please go to Lakerholics.com. Laker Tom has a big article waiting for you right there. Jamie Sweet has lots of comments for him right there. Michael, the intermediary in between. Happy birthday to those two guys once again. Wishing those two guys well on their birthday weekends. But Rob, before we get to Laker Tom, any last thoughts, my friend, before we head on out?
No, just enjoying the games. Came into
last
the
night
season.
though was a dud though. The NBA Cup games last night were all, I looked at all of them, they were all double-digit victories. Outside of that, it's been you're right. Although the rest of the season has been great, a lot of close games, but just last night was just like a.
I'm sitting here as someone that shares Pistons season tickets. The Pistons are 7-2, so they're playing good. Lakers are 7-2, so good times. Good times.
Duran is a monster. 30-10 last night.
Yeah, he's really improved. He's added a little dribble game from the free throw line that he can drive in now. So, yeah, the Pistons, they are looking good. They are tough. Cade's really improved a lot. So, but yeah, the Lakers is great. Let's keep it rolling though. I think you really learn a little bit about the team when they go on a long road trip. So,
we got to,
despite the great early start, let's see what happens on the road.
Tom, any last thoughts before we head on out?
I just published an article called "What's Different About This Year's Lakers is Everything That Matters." So go to Lakerholics.com and take a read on that.
Ooh,
Lakers
nice
gotta show that
tease.
Lakers got to show that they can win these next 2 games. These are the games that you got to have no question about losing. You need to build up a 20-point first half lead and walk away and rest everybody in the fourth quarter.
Fair enough. So for those watching live, we'll be on later tonight, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. We'll have the game on for you. And then, of course, after that, the world famous post game right here on the Lakers Fast Break. And again, please support Laker Tom, Jamie Sweet, Michael Heinrich, and then L Rob. Great to have him here as always, the wise sage, the voice of sanity among the Lakerholics, as I say sometimes, in between the wars between Tom.
Still predicting a 14-3 record.
Well, who's predicting a 14-3 record?
Oh, well, it's 11-3. Sorry,
11-3. Yes, you guys are. Hey, you guys said 4-1. That would be a great time. Yes, absolutely. If they are able to go 4-1 on the road trip, obviously that's going to just reaffirm to everybody how real the Lakers.
Will you be a believer if we go 4-1?
Let's see how it looks halfway through the season where the Lakers are at. Remember, I saw Golden State. Yeah, see, Golden State
30 games ahead halfway through the season.
You should take a lesson. You got to learn from your history, Tom. Even last year, Golden State started off meteoric. And as Legend, my good friend Legend, who's probably on the show
but they're not a bunch of old guys that are going to fade away this year.
Well, I'm just using as an example, Tom. I'm just saying as an example. Last year, they started off red hot. They got one injury to De'Anthony Melton, and they went off the rails.
City started off red hot, too, and they finished red hot.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. We will see if this is sustainable. I don't want to go ahead and start feeding into like all these other Lakers shows, and they tell you all these great things, and they throw all these roses at you. And then when the Lakers come out, they start struggling a bit or just go through the highs and lows of an NBA season. They don't know what to say. I call it as I see it, Tom, and I always will.
Well, it sounds like
that's why we love you, Gerald. You
thank you.
You do not sugarcoat it. You don't just give us the sunshine and lollipops. You also
make sure to remind us of all of the horrible things that could happen. And
I just said 3-2 on the road trip. They'll still be 10-4. That's not like the world will end. My God, man.
No, but I mean, sometimes I feel like you're rooting for Luka to break his leg and Reeves to get run over by a car.
Well, don't worry, Tom. Don't worry. They'll have left leg contusion management coming up here in the not too distant future. So, we don't even need to worry about a broken leg. They'll miss enough games based off the word management. Porzingis is out tonight. You know why Porzingis is out tonight? Illness management.
Well, I'm glad.
Not illness. Illness management. That's where we're at in 2025 in the NBA, guys. So we should rename it the NBA Management League. That's what we should call it now from now on, because it's just
it's got to be tough. If you're looking to
NBA,
if you're looking to buy tickets to an NBA game. And you're looking at the ticket places, seeing what the prices are and everything, and trying to figure out how close you can wait and still get good tickets, and who the hell is going to be on the game, which stars are going to show up for which teams. Are you going to watch a real game where you're paying? I'm looking at tickets. My grandson, and I went down to LA last year to watch the Lakers in one game. It was just sensational. Cost us $1,000. Between the tickets and the airfare and so forth. But we went down in the morning, came back in the evening, and it was terrific. I'm looking at the tickets now. I've got like 4 games highlighted. The 2 times that the Lakers play the Warriors in San Francisco, obviously, and then a couple of games, we tried to get down to LA to go to crypto.
Would it be cheaper to go to Sacramento from where you're at?
I've been looking at Sacramento too. I'm looking at the Sacramento games also.
Because I just did that drive a couple months ago where I went, from the Bay Area through Sacramento to Reno. I could see you or John Costa, because you both live and Tough, since you all guys live in the Northern California area.
Maybe Sacramento might be. You can get to Sacramento in 2 hours.
Those tickets will be cheaper if you saw the game last night, right, Al?
Yeah.
The Kings team is pretty bad.
I might be able to get to see Ja too.
Wow. Okay. I don't know what that means, but
Well,
John
because
Morant
he's
in
traded to the Kings,
2025.
right? The Kings are the number one team that wants him.
Okay. You shoot better three-pointers than John Morant right now. He's 14% from three.
I know.
14. And he doesn't drive anymore, and he's miserable, and he's making everybody miserable. I went into Laker Tom mode this week. I said, okay, if they move John Morant, the first thing I would do if I was San Antonio is I would call Memphis and say, I want Triple J. What do you want for Triple J? I'll give you De'Aaron Fox, a pick, and another
Triple J
player.
is exactly what we need next to Ayton.
Triple J is also what they need exactly next to Wembanyama.
80% of the league needs, though. That's the challenge.
Just think of him alongside Wembanyama.
We need a power forward who can also be a center.
Oh yeah, he would be great on the Lakers. Absolutely,
he's perfect. Yeah. No, that's why I'm hoping that Ja leaves. And there's another guy too. There's Chapman, not Chapman.
What team?
Cam. But God damn it, I forgot his name.
Who we're
He's
talking
a rookie.
about?
It's a rookie that they have. Cam.
Oh, Memphis. Oh,
yeah.
The Coward. Are you talking about Coward?
No, I'm talking about Cam Spencer.
Oh, okay. I thought you Coward on Memphis because he's been shooting really well.
Right.
Kalkbrenner is the one I'm really sad that we missed out on, because had we, the Lakers made 2 trades in the second round of this year's draft to pick a dude Thiero who hasn't played a lick. I think he's coming back to the roster here any day now.
Yeah, I think he's going to be.
Kalkbrenner has started for the Charlotte Hornets and is shooting 80% from the field and averaging 2 to 3 blocks a game.
Wow.
He's a center.
He's a center. Yes, Tom. He's a slow-footed guy, mind you, but rebounding and block shots and also shooting efficiently, knows exactly where his range is. He has been a pretty good revelation for Charlotte, and he was only 2 picks above a dude Thiero. And I'll just say
I like Adu a lot, though. I mean, I've studied a lot of film on him, and he's exactly what we need. He's the athleticism that we really need.
Well, aren't you troubled though by the fact is, immediately upon signing him, he has knee surgery?
Everybody in this league is that. I mean,
to start your career though, Tom.
No, seriously. I mean, you can't. Why do you think he's a second round pick?
Because he shot 28% from 3 or 26% from 3 in college.
His injuries.
And 26% from 3 in college doesn't help him either.
No, but I'd rather have a guy who shot 26% from 3 from college than a guy who never took the fucking shot. I mean, you gotta learn to shoot the ball. You gotta have enough balls to let it fly. If you can't do that, you're not going to get anywhere. These guys, I mean. Guys like Brook Lopez, who went through 5 or 6 years or 10 years or whatever it was, with never having shot a 3, and then all of a sudden turns himself into a great 3-point shooter. That takes some moxie, man. There's you got to have some balls to fire and shoot it. I remember when I went to law school, I played basketball at NYU, not just scrub basketball. They have a crazy rule in New York City at that time when I played that you don't have to take any rebounds to clear them. Instead, you can get an offensive tip back in on my shot. My defender could tip the ball in. So being a
that is a crazy rule.
As a 5'9" guard, half Chinese guard coming into play in New York City, I mean, you got to have a lot of balls to shoot a 3-point shot.
So no one will ever accuse you of being ballless, Tom. Okay.
No, I shot my shot.
Tom paved the way for Jeremy.
There you go.
Linsanity. He was the first Linsanity in New York.
Tom Sanity. There you go. Tom Sanity, Rob.
Well,
but
I love Jeremy Lin. I thought that was terrific. I mean, as a Chinese kid, I had nobody really to look up until Jet Li came by. And then all of a sudden it was finally, it was like our version of Roots, that the black kids were able to, have some heroes and go after and so forth and understand their history, You talk about walking onto the court as a little scrawny white kid. Try walking onto the court as a scrawny white Chinese kid. You have to prove yourself every time you played, and there's a big difference between guys who shoot and guys who don't shoot. It's a whole. I mean, you go to the playground and it's nothing more important. There's nothing more interesting to me than to watch guys. And we used to do this before games. We'd watch the pickup lines and try to pick up the starters. I used to go down and watch the LA Summer League when it was first doing it. It first opened up in Long Beach, and they used to have all sorts of guys playing. It was right at the start of the 3-point shot, and they
at the Pyramid, I believe, correct?
Yep, and they put the 3-point shot in there, and then they also did it at LA State for a long time. But we'd go down there and try to pick out the starters by watching their lineups as they made layups and as they shot shots and so forth. And we'd put $50 a position on on the bet on that. It was always a great way to start the evening, and a little gambling, a little basketball, and but also too you can always pick the guys who can shoot, and what the 3-point shooters are out there firing away from long range. They're not doing layups and spins and flips and and stuff like that. And the guys who want to dunk, they're dunking everything they got. It's pretty easy to pick out who's the forwards. I mean, it doesn't matter about the size, who's the forwards and who's the center, and who are the guards. And picking the starters out is a good way to make money.
Well, I want to thank everyone for watching. Rob, Tom, it's been great having you two on. You guys are the legends among all legends here for Lakerholics.com. Michael Heinrich, great to always have him here as well. Wishing him a happy birthday. And you know what? We'll go and wish Jamie a happy birthday as well. Why not? Why not? All right, fair enough. But guys, I'm hoping to get you guys back on as much as possible during your Saturday 11 a.m. run. You seem to like this time, this day. Yep. So hopefully you guys can make it as often as you can during the season to talk about Lakers basketball.
I'll commit to every week, Gerald.
Or every week that Jamie doesn't piss you off. Yes.
Every week, the whole season. This is a championship season. I'm going to enjoy it the entire
we're in the low management era, so I can't make that commitment like Tom, but I will try to get here as often as
you still got to work for a living, Lee. I don't.
All right, guys. It's been fun.
Everyone. Thank you so much. Once again, happy birthday to
Happy birthday, Jamie.
Happy birthday, guys.
And once again, check out Lakerholics.com. We'll be back later tonight for the Lakers and Atlanta Hawks on playback. And, of course, the world-famous postgame right here as part of a great Lakers weekend and Lakerholics Spotlight.
Send me the links, Gerald, and I'll drop in now and then.
Sounds good. Lakers Fast Break Podcast.